Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Siti Nursyada binti Harun, a student from BIB. Today I'm gonna discuss about the topic 2, which is cultural changes. So without wasting time, I'm gonna give a brief definition of cultural changes. So cultural changes refers to the alteration or transformation of society or communication culture patterns over time. It involves the alteration of custom, tradition, organization, and values that characterize a group of people. So next, we're gonna move to the process of cultural changes. There are 4 phases of process of cultural changes. The process of cultural changes usually take place over time and involve several stages. It goes through numerous phases such as introduction of new ideas, the early resistance to change, the adaptation of cultural aspect, and the final assimilation or acceptance of novel custom. So these are the 4 phases of cultural changes. The first one is introduction of new ideas. Society gradually start implementing new cultural practices into their current cultural frameworks in order to adapt to them. So for example, the printing press invention in Europe during Renaissance sparked a wave of ideas that challenge established political and theological system. So the second phase is early resistance to change. So this resistance might originate from people, organization, or group who want to preserve traditional ways of life or who feel threatened by change. For instance, many rural population oppose moving to urbanization and factory employment at the start of industrial revolution, since it went against long-standing agricultural custom. So the third phase is adaptation of cultural aspect. So society gradually start implementing new cultural practices in their current cultural frameworks in order to adapt them. One example of cultural aspect might be combined throughout the adaptation process is the blending of local and Western culinary tradition. So last but not least, the last phase of cultural changes is assimilation. The new ideas of cultural practices might eventually be completely assimilated into society. As the new custom get ingrained in the culture, societal norms and values might change as a result. For example, decades of influencing and societal change have led to the broad acceptance of gender equality in many nations. So next, we're gonna discuss the barriers to cultural changes. So in this part, I'm gonna give 6 examples of barriers to cultural changes. The first one is tradition and cultural conservatism. A society identify is generally based on its tradition, and any alteration to them are usually received with opposition. For the second point is social norms and peer pressure. Norms are these unspoken guidelines that control behavior in community. When people or organizations question the status of quo, they frequently encounter social rejection or discrimination. So for the third point is political resistance. Particularly, authoritarian government frequently exhibit strong resistance as worry that culture change will weaken their hold on power, upset the social order, and spark opposition movement. So for the fourth point is economic factors. Economic elites may oppose cultural change in sector of the economy that depend in adequate technologies or custom in order to preserve their wealth and prestige. For the fifth point is cultural hegemony and media influence. In order to maintain their values and worldview, hegemonic powers employ institutions such as the media, education, and religion, which reduces the visibility and accessibility of opposing cultural ideas. So the last point is psychological barriers. People are driven to keep their views and behavior consistent, as Festinger 1957, and they frequently reject new ideas that challenge their pre-existing worldview. So in this section, we're gonna discuss the example of cultural changes. So there's 4 points. So the first one is technological advancement and the digital revolution. So the introduction of societal media platforms, smartphones, and the internet has fundamentally changed how people engage with one another, communicate, and obtain information. For instance, the emergence of social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter has changed how people express themselves and communicate. So this signifies a change from conventional communication a channel like print or and television to the quick and extension distribution of information through digital work. So for the second point is gender roles and feminism. The feminism movement has been instrumental in questioning and altering this convention over the past century, resulting a notable shift in the role that women perform in the home, at work, and political leadership. So as we all know now that women are now becoming more in position of leadership in the arts, industry, and politics. So for the third point is globalization and cultural exchange. So cultural exchange has also been significantly influenced by globalization, especially in the ways that cultures from different parts of the world interact and influence one another. So the widespread of popularity of Hollywood films like Avengers Endgame and television series like Friends demonstrate how Western entertainment has influenced language, dress, and societal behavior. So for the last point, is environmental awareness and sustainability. So growing interest in renewable energy, organic farming, and lower carbon footprints are now example of how eco-friendly and sustainable living is becoming more popular. So for example, like the rise of eco conscious shopping is another indication of the cultural change. Brands that prioritize social responsibility, environmental sustainability, and ethical sourcing are becoming more and more popular. This is a very positive impact of cultural changes. As you can see now, like F&B, especially in F&B industry, they are replacing a plastic straw with a paper straw, right? So the last is conclusion. So cultural change influenced by globalization, social movement, technology, and cross-cultural interaction significantly alter societal institution and interaction. Understanding these processes can equip future generation to handle global challenge. Cultural change can lead to invention, creativity, and dissolution of social hierarchies, promoting adaptation and tolerance. So that's all from me. Thank you.